so fantastic to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Um, to start off with, what is it that keeps you coming back to the Despicable Me franchise?
Uh, there is a lot of love involved. A lot of it. I love the group of people that make these movies. They've been collaborators and friends, and it's a joy to work on these things. I go in, I do these very funny lines. The scripts are great. I improvise. My kids grew up with these movies. They started when I started these when they were like 4 and 7 years old. Now they're 18, 21, and they love them. So all of it has just been nothing but a positive experience for me.
I know you finalized on the Voice of Gru by trying it out on your kids, and they chose that one. But now, when you meet kids, do they know you as Gru, and do they ask you to do the voice?
No, kids rarely associate me with being Gru. Like it's actually weird. Sometimes when I've done the voice for kids, they look at me like, "What? No, that's not your voice. That's that character's voice." So sometimes I try, especially for little kids, I don't do the voice around them because I don't want to confuse them. But some of my friends have little kids and they've asked me to do voice messages for them. So they'll, tape on their phone and I'll say, "Hello, happy birthday, Ian. I hope you have a good day and I hope you have lots of terrible, dastardly things to do." And, um, and I remember one of my friend's kids said, "Mom, he's real. I told you he was real." Because he sent a message to me. So um, so yeah, I do the voice. And when my kids were little, their friends would, ask me to do it for them. They got a kick out of it.
Well, you said you improvised a lot in this character. So, are there any inside jokes that we may have missed?
Oh my gosh, there are literally thousands of inside jokes, and there's so much that never actually makes it into the movie because we're just playing around. And sometimes the jokes are just for us in the moment, in that day. And especially for this movie, we played around a lot with the references and trying to like, because it's set when I was that age too. And I was thinking, okay, what would I have said? What language would I have used? Like, what's a good put down you use at age 11 in the 70s? So we're always playing around with things like that and doing 10, 15, 20 different versions just to see one that maybe it works and is funny.
All right. And do you think Michael Scott would be a Minions fan?
I think he'd love the Minions. I I bet Michael Scott would have a little minion on the dashboard of his car. He'd be totally into them because I think he would somehow associate. I think in his mind he would love his own minions. I think that's what he would have loved his group of people at the office to be, so devoted to him and loving him and hanging on his every word. But of course they weren't like that.
When I was watching the trailer of the latest one, as well, and in the movie, you also have Eminem's "Lose Yourself," and I felt like that was something Michael would be really excited about.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think he'd love it's weird talking about a character you played in like the third person. It's like I have no idea. He would like it. And then you never know because the writers on the show might say, "You know what? Maybe Michael Scott doesn't love that." And you'd find a different way in and it would make complete sense the opposite way too.
But I could keep talking to you all day about Gru, Michael Scott, and everything else, but that's my time, Steve. Thank you so much. An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise.